Piers Morgan and Nigel Farage confront Keir Starmer. What Jim Davidson said after left viewers speechless. You're not going to believe what just happened on live TV. Piers Morgan, Nigel Farage and yes, Jim Davidson all in one moment that completely flipped the script on Keir Starmer. This wasn't a debate. It wasn't even a normal interview. This was a political ambush, and the fallout is already exploding online. Because while Starmer thought he had the upper hand, two blunt broadcasters and one unfiltered comedian backed him into a corner he could not talk his way out of. And what Jim Davidson said after. Even Farage looked stunned. Let's break down what really went down and why this moment could change the way the public sees Keir Starmer from now on. It all started on a special episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. Keir Starmer was invited on to address key issues ahead of the upcoming general election: welfare reform, immigration, and growing internal dissent within the Labour Party. But what viewers didn't expect was Nigel Farage sitting in the opposite chair, invited as a surprise panelist. Morgan introduced the twist with a smirk. "Sir Keir, you've been saying you're ready for tough questions. So here's someone who's been asking them for decades." And just like that, Farage went in. His opening line: "Sir Keir, just a few months ago, you told the public you supported stricter immigration enforcement. Now your party's proposing to ease deportation standards. So, which is it?" Starmer paused. He gave a long, rehearsed-sounding answer about balancing compassion with control, but the damage was already done. Because Piers Morgan pulled up the clip. A direct quote from Starmer's own press briefing last year. "We will ensure deportations continue swiftly and without interference." Now, the party was walking that back, with Labour MPs suggesting deportation policies would be reviewed for fairness. Morgan stared straight at the camera. "This isn't just a U-turn," he said. "It's a political pirouette." Then came the wild card: Jim Davidson. Comedian, Army veteran, outspoken critic of woke politics. He wasn't even meant to be part of the segment, but he was backstage for a comedy special taping and, according to Morgan, asked to weigh in. And what Davidson said had the studio dead silent for a moment. He leaned forward, looked right at Starmer, and said, "Politicians like you think the working class don't notice when you lie, but we do. And it's why people are turning to Farage." It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't filtered. It was raw. And it hit a nerve. Starmer looked rattled. He tried to laugh it off. "Well, I wouldn't call it lying, Jim." But Davidson wasn't done. "You can call it spin. Call it politics. But to me, when a man says one thing to get elected, then quietly does another, that's a lie where I come from." Clips of the exchange went viral within hours. On Twitter, one user wrote, "Jim Davidson just did what every voter wishes: they could call out the doublespeak to their face." Another posted, "Piers and Farage did more journalism in 10 minutes than most political editors all year." Meanwhile, Labour insiders scrambled to contain the backlash. One senior party figure, speaking anonymously, told The Times, "It's not just about what was said. It's about how Starmer looked. Defensive, shaken. That's not the image we want heading into a tight election." Even some Labour supporters admitted the optics weren't great. And Farage, he capitalized, immediately posting a clip with the caption, "This is why Labour's losing trust." So, why does this moment matter so much? Because it stripped away the soundbites and forced a face-to-face reckoning. In a media landscape dominated by careful messaging, this wasn't scripted. It wasn't safe. It wasn't staged. It was a moment of confrontation and, depending on your politics, either a necessary reckoning or a brutal ambush. But either way, it landed. And it reminded viewers of something crucial. Charisma alone won't carry you when the facts don't match. More importantly, this exposed a deeper issue for Labour right now. Internal tensions are growing. There's a battle between Starmer's centrist strategy and the old guard of the party, who feel he's drifting too far from Labour's roots. Davidson, love him or hate him, tapped into something real. The sense that many working-class voters feel abandoned. Spoken at, not spoken to. And with Farage Reform UK gaining traction, Starmer can't afford to appear disconnected. Especially not on live TV. Morgan has already hinted at a follow-up debate. Farage has called for a full, unmoderated debate with Starmer, no scripts, no handlers, just the truth. And Davidson? He's reportedly been flooded with interview requests, with one media analyst joking, Jim might have just had a bigger political impact in 5 minutes than most backbench MPs all year. Starmer walked into that studio expecting a policy discussion. He left with a media storm. And as the headlines fade, one question remains. If this was just one unscripted moment, how many more cracks are waiting to show? Because in politics, it's not the debate you prepare for that ruins you. It's the one you didn't see coming.